This is an insight from WellView 365, powered by freshnews.ai. As leaders harden playbooks for consistent waiting room communication. Executive summary. Operations leaders are moving frontline teams to a single standardized source of truth for waiting room communication, treating it as a clinical necessity rather than a nice to have. This shift is being driven by budget reset pressure to account for most minute of staff time spent updating signs, answering repetitive status questions, and reconciling conflicting messages. For sales and outreach, this means leads who own waiting room workflows are looking for concrete ways to streamline internal staff communication and content automation for healthcare teams. Expect more pointed questions about how your solution reduces manual message handoffs, shrinks update cycles, and cuts rework between clinical staff, front desk, and patient engagement teams. Today's signal: clinic managers and charge nurses are reviewing how often front desk staff leave the desk to clarify wait times, pull clinicians out of rooms, or reprint outdated signs. Under tighter annual budgets, they are being asked to justify most minute of this work and explain why waiting room communication is not standardized in one place. As a result, leaders are restructuring workflows around a single shared source of truth for patient-facing updates and want tools that are easy to maintain day to day. Organizations using WellView 365 for streamlined internal staff communication can apply these patterns through established governance workflows. Why it matters. Here are 4 takeaways. First, budget owners are tracking staff minutes spent on waiting room communication as an explicit cost line. Second, teams with fragmented signage and verbal updates are being told to consolidate or cut manual steps. Third, decision makers are prioritizing tools that give frontline staff one place to update and trust waiting room messages. Fourth, buying conversations are shifting toward concrete time savings for nurses, medical assistants, and front desk staff. How it works in practice. This shows up when appointments back up and patients start asking most few minutes how long they will be waiting. Front desk staff check with nurses, nurses check with providers, and someone eventually updates a whiteboard, printed sign, or announcement screen. Each update triggers more side conversations, more walkbacks to exam rooms, and more manual edits to scattered content. When teams move to a single, standardized source of truth for waiting room communication, staff agree on one place to change status messages and scripts, and everyone uses that same reference. That reduces conflicting explanations, shortens the loop for updates, and makes it easier to show leadership where time was saved. One practical adjustment. In your next conversation with a digital experience or operations lead, ask how many tools or surfaces staff use to update waiting room messages. Then anchor your follow-up on consolidating those into one standardized staff-owned source of truth. What to do next? Here are 4 takeaways. First, add a discovery question to your outreach about who owns waiting room communication and how updates flow today. Second, segment accounts where multiple teams touch patient-facing messages and prioritize them for consolidation-focused outreach. Third, update follow-up materials to show a simple before and after of staff time spent on fragmented versus standardized updates. Fourth, ask current customers for one concrete example of minutes saved per shift from centralizing waiting room communication and use that data in future calls. Read more at wellview365.com.